Today we're going to talk about astrologers and even the astrology. I say it's skill. It's not even science. We can call it a pseudoscience. And how does it even work? What is it? This history? What kind of people even use this type of astrologist? And not just astrology. We're just going to talk about like omens, like or omens like we have tarot cards and giving you some proof that they are not actually true most of the time. They usually are wrong, usually not 80% of the time are wrong, and we just see the 20% that came true. We're going to talk about the reasons behind this, and yeah, giving you some proof that these aren't real. So how even astrologers use they like science, pseudoscience, to say about your maybe future life and maybe your past lives. I have heard that they talk about your past lives, maybe 100 year before, like maybe 18, 19, 100 year before you were like living. I don't know, where do you live now? Maybe you live in like Berlin, but in the past life you were living in Paris, and you were like maybe um mentor or a coach or maybe like some teacher, and they talk about it on based off the astrology they have, and they talk about it. And even if you want to go to a relationship or maybe be successful in your own job, you consult an astrologer to talk about these things. And so how they even use that? They check and even the status, the position of sun, planets, even earth, and zodiac signs, and the day, even the time you were born. And that's what we call birth chart. Like you were born on like maybe July 3rd, 2006, and the time, the clock was like 11:32 p.m. And that's how they talk about it. And yeah, their birth chart, and they say based on these things you have like this personality, like how you're going to do in your own life, with your friends, with your relationship, on future job you have. And what is it funny to me, like you couldn't have a good relationship with somebody or a good friendship or even the job, and you say it's because of the position of planets like Mercury, Venus, Uranus, or Mars, and that affected my own life. And that's how I couldn't like have a good salary in my job, get the job I wanted. Like my girlfriend left me, I couldn't have a good relationship, most people ghost me. And you just put fault on some of these things. Like, okay, you couldn't have a good relationship with so many people. Okay, like for me personally, I've dated about 13 girls, and all of them ghosted me. So there's something wrong with me. Like maybe I have psychological problems, and I don't have to put the fault on like position of sun or my zodiac signs. It's like for me personally, myself is Aquarius. I'm like, I was born on 8th of February, but that doesn't mean that because of this position of things, I couldn't have a good relationship. I consulted a good psychologist, and she told me about the personality I had and even the bad things that were going on in my life. That's what they affected my own personal life, to have good friendships and relationships. And now I got better, better, better. And maybe after like it's about 6 or 7 months, I got better in my own personality and behaviors, and now I have a good friendship, good relationship like now. And so yeah, that's, you don't have to put fault on these things. And I think people who have no idea what is going on in their life, and they don't know nothing about science, they just base everything on pseudoscience, like astrologers, omens, tarot cards. So yeah, and let's talk about zodiac signs, just planets. I mean, they say like moon have to do with emotions, or maybe Mercury, I think, is like communication. You can see the image. Mars, energy and drive. And if even if you want to about the zodiac signs, we have Aquarius for me is Aries, Gemini, Taurus, like Leo, Virgo, And like if you are March 21 until April 19, you're Aries. If you're October 23rd until November 21st, you're a Scorpio. And these things actually aren't true, you know. I mean, just you can see these things, this image. And even if you want to find your image about your astrology, you can go to astro.com and you put your information in the forms and see what are your zodiac signs, or even the like the positions of planets, sun at that time you were born. And the let's talk about the how they even used it. They usually use that, not usually, I mean 90% of the time, the astrology for kings, not for ordinary people. Like these days, they even like looked for pattern between celestial events and events on Earth. Like they saw an lunar eclipse, they were like, okay, the king might be in danger, and if the omens were bad, and the king maybe would postpone the war or campaign, or even doing some rituals in order to stop the event to happen, like maybe the war they have, everything, and they doing some rituals, yeah, to avoid that. Let's talk about people who use astrologers. I've seen people around me, especially me, I use astrologers, and I'm going to discuss my own experiences and, you know, criticize it. I've seen and I've heard, and some reports said that scientists and Western governments and actually celebrities and people who want to go to relationship about their job, everything, they use astrologers. And it's so deep, like maybe you're asking yourself what kind of celebrities use these astrologers. I have seen on like on Instagram they were talking about astrologers. These celebrities are like Cameron Diaz, Kendall Jenner, and Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande, Jennifer Lopez, Oprah Winfrey, and these celebrities and other celebrities I've seen, they said that even in they like they were taking a recording them, and they were saying that they used astrologers and they believe it so much in supernatural beings so much, and they were so specific about it. So yeah, maybe they consulted an astrologer, maybe for their own job, their own film they wanted to, you know, doing some films, and maybe their relationships mostly. So, what is the history of astrologists? It's like about 4,000 years ago, and Babylonians maybe were the one who used it first, but we cannot really say who invented astrology. It's like it's gradually developed by group of people, like year by year, until now we have this astrology today. Nowadays we have, so yeah, it developed by a group of people. We cannot like say invented by a person. So let's talk about the reasons people usually say. Like, yeah, and my omens and my astrologer told me weeks later you're going to meet this person, or maybe you have income in the salary, you have a good maybe job interview. First of all, they give you some vague statements, like they say you have untapped potential. You make a decision and you're thinking whether it's true, whether it's good or wrong. You want to be around people, but you actually sometimes want to be alone. And maybe you prefer honesty, but you usually lie to people. And you know, this is some generalizing, and it's not just for you, it's for every individual person that happens to them every time. And you cannot say, oh, that describes me. Or maybe sometimes you doubt yourself, but you can overcome it, you are capable of overcome it. And yeah, and they don't usually specify things. They maybe say, like in omens or astrology, they say in the next 4 months, in the next 2 months, or maybe before the year ends, and maybe before the month ends, or soon, weeks later, yeah, you may be going to meet this person, and they don't specify, like, is it going to be 3 days later, is it going to be 1 month later, 1 week later? They don't say that. But in my country it's a little bit different. They maybe say that 7 things later, like we don't know this thing, it's like, is it 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 seconds, 7 hours. They don't specify. And so yeah, maybe in 7 things later it's going to happen to me something. Like 4 times my I was asking my own like fortune teller 4 times, like maybe 1 year before and 6 months later, 2 months later. Yeah, she told me always that 1 things later, 3 things later, you're going to meet this person and she's going to be your girlfriend. And 3 times it didn't come true, but the fourth time she told me, yeah, 8 things later, and it happened to me like 8 weeks later. Like the definition was 8 weeks later. Yeah, 8 weeks later, I met this person, met this girl, and yeah, we went to a good relationship. But yeah, but most of the times that predictions that she told me didn't come true, but this time it came true. And we ignore all the events that they predicted didn't come true, and we just accept this one of the or two of them that came true. For example, they say 10 things or 20 things about the predictions about the future of your life, and maybe 3 of them came true and the 17 other didn't come true, and you just ignore the 17 other one, but the 3 of them you accept them, and it's all just in your mind and you believe in those things. So I'm like, yeah, that you didn't think about the other one that didn't happen to your life. So think about this more and deeply, and you can see that's, yeah, usually these omens and these horoscopes don't usually come true. Maybe you are like, we have this something called confirmation bias. Like you connect events after they happen. Like they say, imagine this month something happens to you and it actually changes your perspective of your life. Okay, this month, and 1 week later, maybe one of these things happened to you, and maybe don't happen to you. You have people that these things didn't happen to them at all. Like maybe you change your job, you end a relationship, you start a relationship, end your friendship. You maybe have like increasing in your salary, change your job. Maybe you move to another country. Okay, you have no idea, and you're like, oh, the horoscope came true, but you ignore the prediction that didn't specify like when it's going to happen, what it exactly going to happen. They say that someone from your past going to play an important role in your life, okay, before the year ends. Over the 12 months, maybe your cousin visits you unexpectedly. Maybe you see some of your old friends from high school or from school found you on Instagram and followed you and messaged you. Maybe you meet a former coworker and you'll be like, oh, that happened. The horoscope kind of came true. And I'm like, okay, the horoscope came true. It said that they play an important role in your life. So you just met them. 3 years later, you'll be like, but they didn't play an important role in my life. So, or maybe they say a financial opportunity going to happen to you, and maybe you see like a discount or something, or maybe a friend offer you a good job, and but this financial opportunity, I mean, like, and they didn't specify the things like how it's going to come to you, when it's going to come to you, and how you can benefit from it. They don't talk about it. They don't specify things about it. Maybe they say you discover someone's true intentions. Like, yeah, maybe your partner was cheating you all the time and you know that, and you after a year know that, oh, they were cheating on me. Your friend get against you, or maybe your coworker wanted you like talk behind your back, and like wanted to drop you out of the company. You interpret and these things as like their intentions, true intentions. And maybe other person who hear those things like have one of these examples I told you, and the true intentions I talk about didn't specify the time, and didn't specify what person, and didn't specify what are they going to do like 2 years later, my friend, my girlfriend, my parents, even my sister, my brother, they didn't specify. They just said that true intention. You're getting to know the true intentions on somebody. Okay, and didn't specify. And last thing we have is called self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like they tell you a prediction and you believe it in so much that make it your own behavior. Like for example, you are an athlete and your coach like making prediction. They say that you're going to have best record ever in today, and you feel less anxious, you focus more, you feel more relaxed, and yeah, maybe you have the best record. Or maybe they say that the horoscoper, I mean the fortune teller, tells you that you're going to meet somebody, you're going to have a good relationship this month. And because normally you avoid conversations, you don't go to like social events, you even don't check your Instagram or use that to talk to somebody. Normally you are maybe all like this, but because of the predictions that they told you, you maybe start conversations, you maybe have so much more confidence, maybe you go to social events. Even like for me myself, I don't usually go to parties, I hate parties, but because of this prediction that happened to me, they told me, I went to one of my friends party that they invited me, and I found a friend, and even I found a girl I liked, and we went into relationship for about 4 or 5 months. I mean, like this, it's not about the prediction. It's about believing this prediction that change your own behavior. But we have another thing. Okay, this is your own behavior. But for about everything, like the predictions say that maybe this year you're going to marry Sydney Sweeney. And I'm like, Sydney Sweeney, you know how that's nonsense it is? Because we live in a different even country. She's an actor, and maybe, I mean, maybe she goes into relationship with somebody that's like have her good status, and even he's a looks maxer, I mean, and so many other things. I'm like, that's nonsense, and that's maybe like 10% probability to like Sydney Sweeney marry me. So I mean, we have so many other reasons to say that, like, yeah. And maybe they say the stock market we're going to rise tomorrow, and the belief you have, it doesn't affect the stock market. They say maybe we're going to have earthquake on, I don't know, Argentina tomorrow, and you believe it so much. Other people maybe we're going to believe it in so much, but it doesn't happen to Argentina. Maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years. So yeah, so that is what we call, that's usually actually happens. So yeah, that's basically that astrology and even tarot cards doesn't work to you. And yeah, like for example, my that fortune teller, she told me about that, like one thing later you're going to get back with your old friend. And because I had a friend and he and me like had some argument and we couldn't be in this friendship anymore, and I was asking her, can we get back? I'm like trying so hard to get back into this friendship again. And she was like, one thing later, and didn't specify, like 1 week later, 1 month later, 1 year later. And it I went through all of that: 1 month, 1 week, 1 hour, 1 second, 1 year, and we didn't get back together. So the friendship, and even she told my mom, 6 things later, you're going to buy a house. And we were like, oh yeah, maybe that's going to happen. And 6 days later, 6 weeks later, 6 months later, and now it's like about 1 year, and that didn't come true, and my mother couldn't buy a house. And I'm like, yeah, most of them don't come true, and we have to see those things that didn't come true. We just usually see about the things that actually came true. We ignore the other ones that didn't come true. So yeah, pay attention to these things and don't trust these omens and these astrologies as at all. Just tried my best prove my point to you that these aren't actually real, and you just have to do real things. And like I told you about relationship, you have to go to maybe psychologists about the business you want to start. You have to consult a good businessman to talk about it and anything. And yeah, this is how it happens.